Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and as you can see I'm back in my 1.0 test world for logistics pipes. That's because Krapht, the maker of logistics pipes, has just upgraded to version 0.1.1. This version has a lot of bug fixes and a lot of little tweaks and changes, and he's added a brand new logistics pipe, and I'm going to feature how that works here. If you're interested in this mod and don't know it, you should check out my previous video on logistics pipes to really check out how all this works. So why don't I get started showing you the new pipe, how it works, and some of the other little changes that he's made in the mod. So as you guys may recall, you've got your basic logistics pipe, and that's the standard basic function of logistics pipes. And if you place some redstone on either side, you'll get a satellite logistics pipe. So what does this guy do? He's basically an add-on to your crafting pipe to handle some of the problems that Minecraft gives you when it comes to automatic crafting tables, and it actually has several functions beyond that. But let's get started with a base case scenario. What happens if we want to create a mining well out of our crafting table? What is the problem here with this crafting recipe? You may or may not be able to figure out what it is. So think about it for a minute and see if you can figure it out. If not, I'm going to go ahead and request a mining well from my system. Now I've got iron ingots in here, and I've got a nice little iron pickaxe crafting table set up, so this guy shouldn't have a problem, but he does. Let's check it out. Right click, and it's successful. It's going to head down here, and it's going to first throw its iron into that thing, and then it's going to throw its redstone in. It's going to get everything it needs to create a pickaxe and all the other cool stuff it wants to make. Here comes the pickaxe. Whoa, what happened? Pickaxes do not stack. That's a problem. How are we going to resolve this? Well, as you may or may not know, Krapht allows you to place basically a chest. Oh, I already had a bunch in my inventory. Right next to the crafting table in order to place your pickaxe in there. So let's throw that iron pickaxe in there, and oh look, now it just shot out my mining well. So we need this iron pickaxe to land in this chest, as opposed to landing in our crafting table. And that's what the satellite pipe will do, is it'll allow a component of a recipe to go elsewhere, be it a chest, or like I said, there's a couple other features that could be used for here. So let's open up the interface for our crafting pipe, and you'll notice very quickly that it's quite different now. Instead of having your input slots at the top here be a crafting table, like so, you've basically got inputs all the way across, straight and horizontal, and you can stack items. So we're basically telling the crafting pipe now, hey, I need 6 iron ingots, 1 iron gear, 1 iron pickaxe, and a redstone, and I should get a mining well out of here. Yep, that about wraps it up. So that's all well and good. And right now the satellite system is disabled and turned off. So I could use, any of these all in a row, and you'll notice that there's actually 9 slots here. So you can build a regular old crafting recipe if you have 9 different items that need to go into that crafting recipe. Not a problem. So now let's figure out how to use this satellite, shall we? So first off, we want to open up our interface here and see that these buttons don't really do anything. Why is that? Well, allow me to explain. If I place down my satellite pipe right here, you'll see that the line turns green, meaning these guys are connected. And if I use my wrench to right-click on the satellite, I can give it an ID number. Let's go with ID number 1. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now, if I open up this interface, I can change the satellite to ID number 1. And it's green because it knows that this pipe is active. If I were to break this pipe for any reason, it would turn red, showing me that ID number 1 is currently unavailable. And I can no longer re-choose one if I change it. So let's go ahead and place this down and go with ID number 2, for example. Now when I try to increase this, the only ID it lets me choose is number 2. So you can only set this to an ID that's on the same line, or the same system, as the crafting pipe. So I'm telling it right now that anything in these 3 boxes has to go, instead of directly into the crafting table here, it should continue along and find the pipe that matches that ID. So in this case, I want any iron pickaxes to go to ID number 2. So instead of the iron pickaxe going straight into the crafting table, it's going to move along the pathway and head into pipe number 2. And if we really wanted to make this long and complicated just for the sake of demoing, I could go like something like this. There you go. Now if I open up this interface and set it to 2 again, and check this guy out, we can see 2's green still. So what should happen is everything should go into this chest, and the iron pickaxe should just go along this long line and directly into this chest here. Let's try it out now when I request a mining well at the end. The request is successful, as you can see, and the magical little dance happens. And watch what happens when we get the wood that's required down here at the end. Here come the sticks, and the pickaxe goes all the way around, and we get our mining well out here. Beautiful, beautiful, magical, and awesome. And as you can see, the chest is empty because it used the iron pickaxe in the recipe. So that's a great way to send an alternate item into a chest rather directly into a crafting table. So I mentioned we can use satellite pipes here to do something a little different. Let's give it a try, shall we? Now in my last video, I did kind of have this little furnace system set up in the background because I was just playing around with it and I did not feature it in the video. That's because there really was no native support for furnaces just yet. Well, satellite pipes help fix that issue, and it allows furnaces and pretty much any other inventory to be used. Let's see how. I'm going to dismantle this system and rebuild it. Alright guys, so I've reworked this system a little bit, and let's work through it here real quick with me. As usual, we've got our provider pipe down here, and we've got our requester pipe here. So I can use this pipe to request items from the system, and I've got a very basic interface set up for a furnace. We've got our standard logistics pipe right here on the side. So that's going to route items and tell them which direction to go based on certain criteria. We want to open up the interface on the top guy here and say we wanted to create glass. We're going to want to place one piece of sand in there, and we want to send the coal for the sand to the bottom because the top slot is where the stuff you want to be smelted is going, and the bottom slot is where your fuel is going to go. So we want to tell the crafting pipe here that sand is going in the top, and to send this guy along a satellite path. And if we open up on the bottom here, we've got a satellite pipe. The satellite pipe ID I'm going to set to, oh look, I can't use 2 again because it's already in use. So let's set it to 3 for now. Why not? If I open up this guy, first off, it didn't go straight to 2. That's because 2 is not a member of this system. 2 is all the way over here in this system. So some pretty intelligent pipes. So 3 is the only guy we can pick, so we'll say 3. So what's going to happen now is that one piece of sand is going to zip along, and it's going to go into the top slot to be cooked. And coal is going to go into the bottom slot to be cooked. Excellent. Let's give it a try, shall we? Now, don't forget, we need to tell our expected output here is glass. So let's go grab a single piece of glass and request it from the system. And we should have plenty of sand in here. I should probably put some coal in. And turn off the rain. Alright, here comes the glass. Let's see what happens. Alright. So it sent the items in, and it's getting cooked. And as soon as the sand is done being cooked, it's going to be sent out into this pipe as requested. Perfect. Ta-da! Works like a charm. Now, some of you might be saying to yourselves, hey, that's pretty inefficient. We just wasted an entire piece of coal to cook one thing. Well, don't worry. Krapht thought of that. Alright guys, I've tweaked my system just a little bit here. You can see I have a standard logistics pipe here. I've also got a standard logistics pipe here, which I'm going to set to the default route. And down here I've got my request pipe. And as you can see, when I right click on it, it's going to try and request something, but it can't get a diamond sword from the system, obviously. And I want to request sand. However, I don't want to waste fuel. I don't want to spend one piece of coal to make one piece of sand. So I'm going to open up the interface here, and I'm going to tell it that 8 pieces of sand plus a piece of coal should make 8 pieces of glass. And what this means is it's going to send 8 pieces of sand in here every time it has a request for any amount of sand. And it's going to wait until it has 8 pieces of glass to get out of this system. And once it can get 8 pieces of glass out of here, it'll pull all 8 of them out. Let's see what happens, shall we? So I'm going to request 1 piece of glass. And the reason I set up this default route is what should happen is that the 1 piece of glass that I request will go into the chest here, and the extra 7 will go into this chest, kind of as an overflow. Let's check it out. Oh, 8 pieces of sand going in, and it's also going to request 1 piece of coal. And the reason it goes up to the top first is because it knows that the coal needs to go into this crafting pipe, and then the coal is told, oh wait, you have to go to the satellite. So it zips back down. You'll also notice that glass is not immediately pulled out of the chest. It's going to wait until it has everything it needs. So it's going to wait for 8 pieces of glass to be made. So let's skip ahead, shall we? Alright, so the last piece of glass is being cooked now, and it's about to finish, so let's watch what happens in the piping system. Once that 8th piece of glass is finished, it'll get pulled out. And the 1 piece lands in the chest here. And the remaining pieces, the 7, land here. Now, if I need any further glass, by requesting from this pipe, it's going to pull and get what it can. However, if I were being smart about this, I could probably just provide here a provider pipe. Maybe like so. Where's my provider pipes? Right there. Put a provider pipe on this guy, and let's route him like so. Now what's going to happen is this is your default pipe, and requested items will go in here, and this here is a provider, so that now anytime I request glass, it's going to go ahead and pull it out of this guy. But right now it's waiting on this guy to be done, so let's give it a minute. Note that it pulled 2 pieces of glass into the system. The system was smart enough to realize that it was cooking up 8, and I had already requested 1. So when I requested 1 more, it said, oh, don't worry, there's some coming, give me a minute. And then it pulled 2 into this system, and put the remaining 6 over here. Pretty intelligent. Now it knows that there's glass over here, and that's the path of least resistance. So if I request more glass, it should come straight out of that chest. It's not going to craft any more until it needs to. Let's pull the glass out of here, and just do one more test. What if I wanted 24 glass? It's going to get all the materials needed to craft that glass for me. So you can see, it's building up it all, and it'll take care of it for you. There goes the coal. So the first piece of coal was used and is already burning. And there's going to be 24 pieces of glass coming my way in just a few minutes here. Pretty awesome. The amazing thing about this system is Krapht is a genius. I just gotta say it. He knows what he's doing. He built a system that is not dependent on basic or vanilla Minecraft, or just Buildcraft for that matter. This system can be used almost anywhere. Let's try combining it with another mod that I'm sure he did not go out of his way to account for. I'm going to use another mod and see what happens. Those who are fans of equivalent exchange should be familiar with the collector and how it works, but if you're not, go ahead and skip this part. The collector will convert any fuel in equivalent exchange, be it coal or redstone, upwards, and it'll convert up through several levels, one of those levels being glowstone. I've set up a system where I can put redstone in a chest here, and I have a crafting pipe over here that says when you input redstone, you should expect to get glowstone out. Let's see what happens when I request glowstone. Oh, it's going to pull the redstone in because it knows it needs to get redstone into this crafting pipe in order to get out glowstone. Let's see what happens here when we watch our collector. It's quickly being up-converted, and it's hit the alchemical coal step already. Let's give it a few more moments here and see what happens when it reaches the glowstone step. It's converted to gunpowder. Pretty spiffy. Almost there. There's glowstone, and hey, it got pulled out right away before it could be changed. And we got our piece of glowstone. Very spiffy. I wonder if this will work with the condenser. So I've hooked up a condenser, placed some fuel inside, and told this guy, hey, if you put in cobblestone, you'll get iron at some point. Let's check out what's going on over here. Cobblestone in the chest. Let's request iron. Cobblestone goes in, and the condenser is doing its job. It's converting the cobblestone upwards in the scale. And let's see what happens. Oh, the first thing it did was create iron, and that iron was shot out the system. Brilliant. What if we wanted gold? So I've tweaked my system again. On this side is still cobblestone gives you iron. On this side, you have cobblestone gives you gold. If I request iron, it's going to go ahead and send it into that side. And as soon as this cobblestone is up converted in the condenser to iron, it's going to emit it out the system. Let's watch what happens. Almost there. Beautiful. If we request gold, it's going to send it on this side. And it'll convert the cobblestone to iron and then it's not going to do anything. It's going to wait until it finds gold. And just because of the way the condenser works, the condenser is going to convert the iron to gold. Let's give it a moment. And we're almost there. Iron gets converted to gold, and the gold will be pulled out and sent along the system. Hooray! Pretty darn spiffy, if I do say so myself. I hope this gives you guys an idea of the potential of these pipes, and just how incredible and complex you can make your systems, and all the nifty things you can do. You could combine this with red power items, you could combine it with pretty much anything. You just have to do it right. So if you guys are going to watch my Let's Play series once it starts, you might see some pretty creative contraptions here. This will work with Industrial Krapht machines as well, of course. However, I can't demo that yet, as Industrial Krapht 2 is not ready for 1.0 yet. So, this is Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed checking out logistics pipes, and I hope you're just as impressed as I am with the progress that Krapht is making here. Let's all show them our support and hopefully get a really awesome mod going. Alright guys, Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.